Hey everybody, we're live in my new hidden apartment because I'm hiding from the FBI because they're coming to get me. Because I'm telling you the truth on everything about our society and the whole system and how flawed it is because I want to fix it all. And so, I'm hiding out. And Ross, if you've seen the last video, you know he was supposed to be my bodyguard. And he just chickened out and he ran to El Segundo. And he left his cat. Saying, oh, she'll do. Anyway, he did leave me the weapon, though, the gun. A regular gun? No. Glass plus. He did say, hey, it's not just glass, though. There's plus. Oh! God! I'm nervous. I mean, I'm in an unknown apartment in the middle of El Segundo. I don't know where the FBI could be. That little girl with 9 toes could be one, for all I know. Anyway. So, no, last video, I showed you guys about me launching the Real Freedom campaign, about how everybody else in this whole country with the election and everything else are missing the whole point on actually making this country not a hypocrite and actually pure and good, which is what I'm trying to do. Everybody's missing the whole point. So, I showed you about, right, Brittany, we launched the flyers that I'm going to be putting all over, even on people's butts when they're leaning down if they drop their quarter. I go, slap it right on their butt while we're driving by. I'm putting them everywhere, baby. Even on this cat. That way when she's walking everywhere, it's like automatic moving billboard. Am I a genius or what? No? Yep. Am I?
Yes.
Told you that Ross was right. This gun does have power. Agree with me? No, but anyway. No, but the election misses the whole point, the presidential election, because everybody feels like they have to pick some kind of stereotypical group, like Republican, Democrat. And then they feel like because one person has their same values or something, or maybe one, right, Brittany, they feel like they have to join that group necessarily, when really you don't. You're supposed to not be into some label. That's like how we're all separated by, oh, here's a gay man, here's a black man, here's a woman, here's a man. We're not supposed to be so separated, and all this labels actually just keep us all apart, and that's what I'm trying to say. But besides all that, even with your values, you're supposed to just believe and have a free, really a free mind of your own, and not be to some kind of group. It's funny how the independents never get anywhere in the elections when they're the ones that are in the middle, and you think logically they're not the ones shoving one side. You think that would be the right thing, right? Or at least the closest you're going to get?
Yeah.
But anyway, I want to talk about how it's a no-win situation. Anybody you elect in this country, because they missed the whole point, they just keep the same old, tired ways forever. And we don't actually get anywhere. Correct? So I just found it so funny. I was standing around looking good, leaning against this wall because I can't lay while I'm sleeping because they can get me at any time. So I've trained myself to sleep standing up with my eyes open. I could be sleeping right now and you wouldn't know. Shamir Jackson taught me how to do that, but look him up. Anyway, so I was standing here for my life from Randy Royce and the FBI, and I fell asleep while I was standing here looking good. And I was dreaming of, some people dream of sugar plum fairies going through their head, right, Brittany? I was dreaming of racist slave owner flags, and it was a nightmare. And they were dancing around my head. Oh! And I woke up. Well, it was more like this. Anyway, and it all came to me. Donald Trump is trying to sell. People are actually believing, and I'm not biasly just picking on Donald Trump. I'm not a label. I'm picking on, because no matter who you get in the presidential election, it's going to be either a bigger piece of shit or a smaller piece of shit. But you're not going to get, you're just getting everything from a cookie cutter assembly line. Your options are the same things. You get what I'm saying? Or the same, worse evil. Like if you go to a supermarket and they don't have anything of what you want to buy. Say there's just crackers and bread left and you don't want either. But you have to pick one, correct? People think they have to vote. So they just pick the lesser evil even if they don't like anybody. Right, Brittany?
Yep.
But do you realize if you just stop voting, they would have to change from the root, all the way from the core, and change our whole system, and it'd have to actually fit. That's what nobody realizes. So I'm throwing my hat. I'm not going to really throw it. I just got this hat. I'll just pretend I threw my hat into the election without actually even running. Because I could run if I just get support and people hear what I have to say, right? Right or wrong. And not, you could get a vote for me by not voting for anybody else. Because they missed the whole point of everything. Okay, so Donald Trump was going on about this movement, right? He said, does he even know what the definition of a movement is? A movement would actually mean having to actually, like, change things from not, or what they were, not leave things exactly to where they were in, like, 1776. Like, his whole mindset, well, pretty much, like, a lot of them, is he'd fit in right in 1776, like a slave owner, hate all immigrants, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong, Brittany, but what did this country start as? New England. They wanted it to be England and just English people, correct? So when all the immigrants came over, like Italians, Polish people like me and my grandparents, they didn't want us. We were segregated. This country was supposed to be all English white people, right? And they were racist and they hated everything and they hated all the other. So Donald Trump's trying to say, oh, build a wall because we don't want anybody coming in. Doesn't he realize him and everybody else wouldn't even be here if they say they built a wall 80 years ago instead of now? Say if they were correct or not, Brittany. He's an immigrant. Just like everybody that wasn't English of what this country actually was. New England, right? Yep. Why do you think it's called New England? So he's trying to say a movement. How can it be a movement when you literally just be setting it back to 1776, like everything being, or being exactly the status quo of it it's always been? Correct me if I'm wrong, but he's acting as if this country was a utopia. Like everybody had their rights. African people, homosexual people, everybody had their, and then it all got taken away one day because he said, oh, let's make America great again. It's all marketing bullshit because people hear the word America and they're like, oh yeah, I love it. So they buy into, he's a great actor. That's what he is. He's a great businessman who knows how to run businesses. So what do business people do, Brittany? They make ads and they manipulate people to buy their product, correct? Yep. So he's very good at being a businessman. Are the other ones, is he worse than the other candidates? No, he's just a better actor. He's a better businessman. So he's beating them by being a businessman. And that doesn't actually mean he's good or not. But the whole point is you're not going to get anywhere. He's literally talking. He said, let's make America great again. Okay, let's find the giant contradiction in that. This whole country never was good. It was all based on racism, only English, everybody being hated. Crap. And then, let's see, African people. Let's see. From 1776, and then finally in like 1860, whatever, when Abraham Lincoln just let them free for political reasons, just to shut everyone up when he really didn't even care, because he's a native killer, and he's actually an asshole, but anyway, so he sets them supposedly free, but they're still segregated and everything, and nobody will let them use the same bathroom and everything, right? So that's 1860, right? Whatever, Brittany? Okay, how long is that until segregation breaks? Exactly 1964. It's exactly 100 years later. You see how slow the progress of not going anywhere in this country is? So he's saying, let's make it great again. It never was. It's been a slow, never get anywhere process of nothing. That has been the whole history of this country till now. Nothing's fixed. They're just using, like, marketing. Like, think of Dunkin' Donuts. What's their slogan? America runs on Dunkin'. You hear the word, people love the word because they're sentimental to the word, because they don't realize it's a explorer's name and it's shitty, like I say in every video. That's why I want to get rid of the name. I have nothing against the country. I like it. What do you think I'm doing here? I'm just saying the name is bad. Correct, Brittany? Yeah. So I hate when people are like, oh, you're bitter. No, I'm not. It's called passion, people. Blah. You get what I'm saying? So anyway, they just want to keep everything the same and just prey on your things you're sentimental to and tell you what you want to hear, so then you go and vote for them. Instead of actually just standing up and not being afraid to be unpopular like me, unpopular, and say like, hey, none of this stuff is right. We're not getting anywhere. All this stuff is wrong. We have to start, to literally make this country not a hypocrite, we'd have to actually go back to the core, get rid of the name America because it's a European explorer that led to the genocide of all the natives and killing them all and stealing this land, so we'd have to get rid of that name, like I said. We'd have to get rid of this flag because it's the slave owner flag. People are like, oh, the Confederate flag's bad. No, this one's older. This is the one. This is the one. But everybody's sentimental to it. I'm not being an asshole. I'm just saying but they don't realize it's not a good symbol. And everybody says you're only as good as what you represent, right? Like when people say for a job interview and you represent yourself, oh, dress nice. Well, This is what we represent, an old, out-of-date slave flag. So that's what, we're not getting anywhere, technically, in this country. No one's getting, and that's what I'm trying to say. So I'm trying to say that don't vote for any of these people. You have to literally just stop. Rebel. Not rebel in the sense, I'm not talking go crazy and throw tea in the water. But isn't it ironic that our country is based on rebelling against another country, and nobody seems to get that? So you don't kiss ass, you have to rebel to get anything done. So I have the notes in case I ever forgot anything, or in case, because I want to make sure. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but I mean, I have certain points here, like Donald Trump is a very good talker because he's a businessman. He's using his business to show you, like, oh, look how good I am at business so you can trust me. It's like, no, he's very good at manipulating people. Like, okay, really, he's like a low-scale Hitler. Now, I'm not saying in the sense of, whoa, Hitler being like with the genocide and all that. I'm just saying in the sense of, what is Hitler known for, Brittany? Charisma. He won all these people over lying. He lied his way to the top, did he not?
Yeah.
Of Germany? Well, what do you think somebody like Donald Trump could do? They could easily act. You can take an actor, and they could lie their way to the top. That's the whole point. So when he acts honest, like say he's honest about building a wall or being a bigot or whatever he is. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying he's honest on his ignorance. That doesn't make it okay. That'd be like if I said, "Oh, I beat my wife, but I'm a good person because I let you know I'm beating my wife or husband," or right, Brittany? Yeah. Just because you admit something doesn't mean it's right what you're doing or you're right or it's okay. That's what nobody understands. It doesn't mean we're getting anywhere. Like, oh yeah, let's vote for him. He was honest. That doesn't make any of the candidates good. I'm not talking biased. I'm just using him as the example because he's the one really saying contradicting shit. What movement? Mine is the real movement. That's why I'm renaming mine a real movement opposing Donald Trump's instead of the campaign. Because I'm actually for change. They're just keeping it all the old. We're actually going backwards 200 years. Donald Trump himself and nobody would even be here if they built a wall 80 years ago. Right or wrong, Brittany? Yep. So you have no way to say that. My people were segregated. I'm segregated to this day for being transgender. And having this sexy voice that no one seems to like. But, my whole point is that, okay, with politics, there's Republican and there's Democrat, and they debate over stupid shit that shouldn't even be an opinion anyway. You shouldn't hate on anybody whether you like it or not. That's not a thing to debate. That's just fact. Because how would you feel if you were born in the wrong body and you were completely unhappy to where you wanted to kill yourself and you wanted to be the other gender, and then everyone's shitting on you and telling you, oh, no, sorry, you're stuck with it. That'd be like buying a stereo that didn't work and then going back to like the store and they're like, no, you bought it, you're stuck with it. Same thing with a body. They're saying, oh, no, you're stuck with it because we're not comfortable with you changing gender. Correct, Brittany?
Yeah.
So it's not a thing of opinion. So Republican, Democrat, all these, they ramble on all day playing upon people's, what, Brittany? They're playing upon people's opinions.
Moral issues. They're
moral issues instead of just all coming together and missing the whole point. And that's what all of them are doing in this country of ours. That's all just stolen land as, woo. And then they say, oh, it was America when we got here. Well, yeah, you're guilty by association by using the stolen goods and harboring it. And secondly, all our presidents after that, like Abraham Lincoln, had the military slaughter the natives going out west to the Kansases and all that shit. Look it up with Sitting Bull. I know I said this in the last video, but that's the whole point, is that our whole country's a hypocrite. So to really be good and be pure with everything, we have to get rid of the name because it represents genocide. We need to fix everything. There's a lot of people are missing the whole point. We got to get rid of these labels. Like, I don't want to be a transgender woman or gay. I'm a fucking human being. Like, I was thinking about it, and I brought this up in the last video, is that even woman is a slave term to not be man. Like, you're under man, so you're woman. Is that correct, Brittany? Mm-hmm. How come nobody ever thinks that they want to fight for women's rights? No, you don't. You're just separating yourself, and it defeats the whole purpose, just like fighting for gay rights. You should never have to admit you're something different. I'm a human being. Human rights, the end. People don't even know what human rights is. They keep putting themselves in different categories. I know I said this 100 times, but it's the truth. We need to just start from, nip it all in the bud and cut this whole everything. Make a new flag. I'm not hating on the people of this country. I'm just saying we'll make a new flag. I don't know why I'm getting bad. I feel like people are not listening to what I'm saying. But everybody always... I remember I was supposed to go on to such great things when I was in high school and everything else, and everybody really supported me and loved me. Now all of a sudden I'm blackballed because I'm trying to say the trucifix, and I'm not just kissing ass because it's easy. So that's what this new movement is about. Boom! Did you hear that? Never mind. So vote for me by not voting. How was that, Brittany?
Good.
Good?
Yep.
Okay.